Hello and welcome our blood viewers to RTG's News English Edition. Tonight for the highlights, we got Prime Minister receives new Chinese ambassador. And on the international scene in West Africa, Security Council are concerned about the situation in West Africa. Those were the top major stories for tonight. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The Prime Minister, Mr. Abdulqadir Kamil Mohammed, received in the morning the new Ambassador Extraordinary and People's of the People's Republic of China, Mr. Hu Bin. Mr. Hu Bin emphasized his firm commitment to accelerate the positive momentum of bilateral and multilateral relations between the Republic of Djibouti and the People's Republic of China. In this sense, he wished to work closely with the Djiboutian government to further consolidate the strategic Sino-Djiboutian relations, and he also thanked the Prime Minister for his unfailing contribution. The diplomat also announced that the People's Republic of China will donate around 200,000 additional doses of COVID-19 vaccine to the Republic of Djibouti. The Prime Minister, Mr. Abdulqadir Kamil Mohammed, welcomed the diplomat to Djibouti and gave him his full support during his mission. He then indicated that the relations between our two countries have undergone a considerable and remarkable evolution, illustrated both by the volume and diversity of exchange in several areas. Within the framework of the reforms undertaken by the government of Djibouti in the field of standardization, the Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mr. Mohamed Warsame Deriye, signed with the Turkish Djibouti Minister of Industry and Technology an important memorandum of understanding on cooperation in the standardization. This agreement, which was signed on Monday, August 16, 2021 in Ankara, Turkey, paves the way for the strategic partnership between the Djibouti Agency for Standards and Quality and the Turkish Standards Institute. In a brief speech, Mr. Mohamed Warsame emphasized the importance of this cooperation agreement, which comes at the right time as it coincides with the operationalization of the Djibouti Standards Agency and will therefore serve as a platform for the exchange of experience and expertise. The minister also hoped that the implementation of the previous of this protocol will concentrate the need of our agency in terms of acquisition of metrology and testing equipment, as well as capacity building in all areas related to quality infrastructure. The minister also stressed that this MU will support the growth of the trade volume between their countries, which reached $320 million in 2020. For his part, the Deputy Minister of Industry said that Turkey wishes to further strengthen its cooperation relations with the Republic of Djibouti, which is the gateway to the countries of East Africa and COMSA. He also expressed the readiness of the Turkish Standards Institute to provide the necessary support to the Djibouti Standards Agency to play its major role in consumer protection, quality control of imports, and promotion of domestic production. A technical committee composed of expertise from both parties will be set up to implement the will expressed in the agreement and make the cooperation concurrent. Moving on, the Ethiopian Embassy in Djibouti gave a briefing on the achievements recorded in the past Ethiopian fiscal year regarding Ethio-Djiboutian relations. Let's listen to the spokesman on behalf of the ambassador, Mr. Benyam Ephraim.
Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed, at the 38th Extraordinary Summit of IGAD that was held here in Djibouti, presented an outstanding report, particularly on the law enforcement activities of the government in Tigray region. As you know, it was during this time, this summit, that the chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, noted that Ethiopia took legitimate action in its Tigray region to preserve peace and stability in the country. It was in this spirit, it was in this light that the government of Djibouti demonstrated its unflinching support for Ethiopian people and government and stood on a firm ground on the principles of peace, stability, and prosperity of the two brotherly countries in particular, and the region in general. On the sidelines of the Intergovernmental Authority for Development, IGAD, summit, the Premier met and held discussions with the President of Somalia and Kenya separately in order to calm the then tensions between the two brotherly countries. As we know, His Excellency President Ismail Omar Guelleh has also been playing instrumental role in creating viable platform to bring leaders around the table to solve outstanding problems and issues amicably. It was in 2020 that the Ethiopian ambassador to Djibouti, His Excellency Brahanu Tsaggaye, presented his credentials to His Excellency the President of Djibouti and to the Executive Secretary of IGAD, Dr. Workana Gabayo. On regional mechanisms like IGAD, many activities have been accomplished this year, the laying of the foundation stone of IGAD Regional Center of Excellence for Cancer in Addis Ababa, and also the provision of 4 ambulances to our country to help prevent the spread of COVID pandemic at the border areas is among the few activities I can mention regarding what we have done along with the regional mechanism. During the year, the ambassador has also made discussions with more than 22 high-level Djiboutian officials, as well as 17 foreign ambassadors and representatives of the international organization in Djibouti. Those, have created venues to scale up collective endeavors to further strengthen the diplomatic ties, to give further impetus to our peace and security and prosperity as well. Ethiopia and Djibouti have signed 2 important agreements this year. The first agreement was to renovate the Daguru-Dikil road, and work is actually underway on this part of the Galafi highway. Moreover, the 20-kilometer Galafi-Daguru road construction has been completed. So this really, carries a weight in terms of not only enhancing smooth and efficient flow of import and export of goods and commodities, but also further owning the 2 countries' capacities in finishing infrastructure projects that are key for economic integration.
Mr. Ephraim, in the second part of his speech, continued on emphasizing the strong relations between Djibouti and Ethiopia. Let's listen.
Another success was the official inauguration of the port of Tajura, and it's now handling additional import goods and commodities. Tajura port has also been able to reduce congestion at DMP, the Dorali multipurpose port, by serving as a viable option. This Ethiopian fiscal year, more than 200 train station wagons have arrived in Djibouti and have clearly enhanced the service capacity of the Ethio-Djibouti railway, and also boost the facilitation of the import-export process. Djibouti demonstrates Ethiopia's strategic partner not only in good times, but also in challenging times. That we witnessed this at the time of coronavirus pandemic, where it was mandatory, to close borders and airspace. But actions has been taken to swiftly open these lines to not disrupt the movement of peoples and commodities. There was any interruption in the Ethio-Djibouti corridor at that time. As you know, we have considerable number of Ethiopian diaspora community here in Djibouti. This is their second home, as Ethiopia is for Djiboutians as well. So the embassy has been actively working on citizen-centered diplomacy and have managed to respond to the rights and interests of hundreds of its citizens here. Legal protection and other essential services have been provided for the dozens of our nationals as well. There was exchange of visits between Ethiopian Federal Police and Djiboutian National Police. This has also created a good venue in further improving the rights of the 2 countries' nationals. Effective collaborations were also made with relevant Djiboutian authorities and also the International Organization for Migration and the community at large in terms of facilitating a safe and secured repatriation of more than 700 Ethiopians back home. Multiple awareness creation campaigns have been made with the community in terms of major events in the country. The Ethiopian community here in Djibouti has shown its profound commitment in supporting the Ethiopian National Defense Force, morally, materially, and financially, where more than 6 million Djibouti franc have been collected. The community is quite active also in supporting the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, in an effort to make Ethiopia the hub of renewable energy in the region and increase power connectivity that will, give further impetus and capacity to regional integration. The embassy was able to collect more than 70,000 USD from our community here in Djibouti as well. As you all know, the government of Djibouti gave us a land to build an Ethiopian community here in Djibouti. We are very, very grateful for His Excellency Ismail Omar Gile and the government and the people of Djibouti in general for their generosity in aspiring to witness a vibrant cross-cultural community school where not only Ethiopians but also Djiboutians and other nationals will get enrolled. The embassy is supporting the community to materialize the construction of the school. Designs are being prepared by the University of Dredwa, and financial commitments are underway. Ethiopia and Djibouti this year has also made a giant leap forward in business, investment, and tourism sectors as well. Against the backdrop of the COVID pandemic, two countries were able to organize and co-organize tourism forums and exhibitions like the Ethio-Djibouti Tourism Forum in Addis Ababa and Taste of Ethiopia here in Djibouti, where dozens of tour operators, owners of travel agencies, and owners of hotels participated in these forums and exhibitions. These forums and exhibitions served as a viable platform to have dialogues and make business-to-business meetings, and we were able to sign agreements on special tourism packages. This helps to encourage the sector that was severely affected by the COVID pandemic and helps to further strengthen the unique Ethio-Djibouti people-to-people relationship. The two countries have also co-organized the first Ethio-Djibouti Livestock Promotion Forum here in Djibouti, as you all know, to transfigure the conventional and costly way of doing the livestock export business. The private-public partnership agreement signed between Ethiopian Ministry of Agriculture and a private company in Saudi Arabia in March this year is hugely expected to upscale the quarantine system in Ethiopia to the level that meets the expectation of the global market. This year, Ethiopian Airlines and Djibouti Port and Free Zone agreed to launch a freight transport, sea air cargo transport service with the aim to transport more than 400,000 tons of goods, mainly from China to Africa. And when successful, the agreement would double Ethiopian Airlines and Air Djibouti's cargo operations. It will also make Djibouti a hub for air and sea cargo.
As part of its social programs and activities aimed at supporting simple families and people with limited income, the Ministry of Social Affairs, in close collaboration with King Salman Center for Humanitarian Aid and Relief, implemented today, Wednesday, 18 August, the distribution of food baskets to the most needy families. The main station of the distribution operations was the headquarters of Diwana Zakat in the suburb of Balbala, where 615 families from the municipality benefited from this project in its current cycle. The beneficiary families received bags of rice, sugar, and flour, as well as edible oil and dates. This humanitarian gesture reflects the deep cooperation between the Republic of Djibouti and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, especially in the humanitarian field. The responsible of the King Salman Relief and Humanitarian Aid Center said that this round of aid, in collaboration with the Ministry of Social Affairs, will be distributed not only in the capital but also in the regions as Ali Sibeh, Dikhel, and Arta. He also affirmed that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will continue to help its little brother country, Djibouti, by all means necessary. The senior national table tennis team of Djibouti, who won the bronze medal at the Arab Table Tennis Championship, returned this noon to Djibouti capital. Led by the coach Yusuf Ali, the three table tennis players were welcomed with all the honors at the airport by the officials of the SES. In this case, the State Consular Degha Ali and the Director of Sports, Mr. Abshir Ali Hassan, members of the Federation of Table Tennis, as well as their families and relatives. The Secretary of State in charge of Sports, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil, renews once again his warm congratulations to these young stars while encouraging them to persevere on this path. As part of the fight against trafficking and illegal trade in contraband goods of all kinds, Djibouti Customs and National Police proceeded this morning to destroy early in the morning of large batch of khat from Ethiopia through PK-12, intercepted recently by the police station of Balbala and customs officers. The seized and destroyed merchandise consisted of several kilos of khat. The National Police and the Customs continue their efforts to put an end to the activities of the smugglers who aim to reach the economy of the country, and it is furthermore the responsibility of every citizen to fight relentlessly to put an end to this illegal trade. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, the United Nations Security Council on Tuesday expressed concern about the deteriorating security situation in some countries in West Africa and the Sahel. In a statement issued by its presidency, the Secretary General also expressed concern about the risk of rise of terrorism in the Sahel and Lake Chad Basin, as well as in the wider West African region, and piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. It encouraged continued national and regional efforts to combat these threats. The Council strongly condemns the ongoing attacks in the region against civilians, representatives of local, regional, and state institutions, as well as national, international, and United Nations security forces, and affirms the need to ensure accountability for human rights violations and breaches of international law. The draw for the 2021 African Cup of Nations took place Tuesday at the Yonodi Convention Center in Cameroon. The host country will face Burkina Faso in the opening match on January 9, Algeria. The defending champion will face Côte d'Ivoire. To make this draw, the 24 selections were divided into 4 pots according to the latest FIFA ranking, established August 12. Thus, the host country Cameroon, Senegal, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, and Nigeria could not be in the same pool. But this, our beloved viewers, we conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. We at the RT team wish you a happy and wonderful night. Thank you.